no money coming in. This is why. Speaking about business and manifestation. Have you ever felt like no matter what you do, money just doesn't come in? You set goals, you try strategies, maybe even working with manifestation, and still nothing changes. Or even worse, you keep experiencing exactly what you don't want. Maybe you've had this thought, this doesn't work. Why does this keep happening to me? Maybe it's just not for me. I've been there. If you want to make more money, not just with strategy, but by understanding what's happening inside of yourself, please do subscribe. See, I've been a business owner since 2012. Before that, 20 years of managing other people's businesses. In 2012, I was in a $1.5 million debt. From 2012 and 4 years, less than 4 years, I built a company with 60 people. I paid off the $1.5 million debt. And also, I've been speaking, done seminars, and coaching thousands of people about the things that I learned. And since then, I've been obsessed with one thing. Why do some people get results and others stay stuck? See, when I created my company, and also before that, I've tried strategy and I've studied business. And I did come out of the debt and I did create my 2 businesses. But in the last years, I've gone deep into the inner work. Manifestation, Neville Goddard, Think and Grow Rich, a lot of these things, and even deeper into identity and patterns. Now, I recently had one of my old notes coming up, and I want to share this with you today. I want to invite you to think about what I'm sharing with you today. And I want to give you a simple picture of how I see it that can help you to guide, shift, invite you to take your mind and your results in another direction. So imagine a bowling lane, the lane, and you got the bowling ball, and you got those, what are they called, at the end of it that you want to knock down. Imagine that, and in the side you got these 2 rails, so if the bowling ball goes out there, you don't get any points. Now imagine a bowling lane for kids. It's a little bit different because it got those bumpers on the sides. And you still have the goal at the end of the lane. We call them pins, right? Pins or something like that. You want to knock those down and it gives you points. The thing is, these bumpers, they are not there to stop. Imagine you're a kid, you're sending the ball down. The bumpers are not there to stop you. The bumpers are not there to hurt you. The bumpers are not there to distract you. The bumpers are actually there to guide you. So this image came to my mind because this is how I experience and what I have been playing with that I invite you to do the same with. And I'm going to talk about problems because like I began this video with what many people experience, and I did too. And sometimes if I'm not aware, I can catch myself in that old pattern. Because what happens in life is that we have kind of a desire. We have something that we want. Probably you have too. And if you look at it like the bowling lane, You got the pins. That's what you want. You want your bowling ball to get down there. You want to end up living the life at your goal, your desire, your vision. And the thing is that in life, see if you can follow me here, like on the kids' bowling lane, we got bumpers. And the thing is, when we hit bumpers in our life, or most people at least, they get frustrated. And they say, this isn't working. And they say, why is this happening to me? And then they stay there in their mind with their emotions. It's kind of a loop going on. And I'll explain that to you in a moment here. So imagine you want abundance. Imagine you want to grow your business, but what you see is that you have lack. You experience lack. You say, okay, now is another bill, or I can't do this, or this is not working. That's kind of the ball bumping up at the bumper. That's what you experience. And most people, when that happens, they keep their focus on that place with the bumper. But imagine the bowling lane again. The ball hits the bumper and the ball goes like this, away from the bumper, right? It's a guide towards the goal. So, if we in life can experience it or play with it, or, and this is an invitation, do the same thing, that when we see a problem or a contrast, as many people talk about, a contrast to what you actually want, instead of focusing on it, I'm going to share a very important thing around this that can help your mind. Instead of focusing on this is kind of like just a guidance that, okay, you are about going off track. That's not the way where you want to go. And you can use that in your mind, first of all, to guide your whole system into something positive instead. And here comes the woo-woo or not woo-woo part, because when I speak with people around this, when I talk with them, there's a lot of people saying, well, the law of attraction, it doesn't work, manifestation doesn't work. And I say, how do you know? Say, well, we can't prove it. Well, that's true, or is it not true? Maybe we don't know, maybe we do know. But one thing is for sure, that we are manifesting all the time. Right? We are manifesting all the time. You are creating something, I am creating something all of the time. So if we hit the bumper, something is not like we want it to be, that's a contrast. Somehow it got into your reality or my reality. Again, if I focus on this, I'll get more of that. You probably know that. Your mind goes, that's not what I want. And then it goes with the next one. Why is this happening to me? And then it goes with the next one. This is not meant to be. And then it goes that in loops that way. And with that, remember, this is one of the world's oldest manifestation formulas. Thoughts leads to emotions, leads to actions, and leads to a result. So can you follow me? When you think bad things, you probably feel bad things. When you feel bad things, you don't take powerful actions. I was on a call Saturday with one guy from our manifestation community. This is all about money. And he shared something very powerful. He said, well, when I'm stressed around money, I tend to have bad habits. I want to eat something and I don't make good decisions. Right? So if we believe that we are connected or not connected and manifesting or not manifesting directly, at least most people will agree with me that our actions will not be as powerful when we are thinking and feeling negative. Now, here comes the science part of this. Something that helps me when I'm kind of like, whoa, this is too much woo-woo, it helps me to remember that this is not necessarily woo-woo, because your brain, my brain, got something called Reticular Activating System, RAS. And the RAS looks for what you focus on. It looks for what's important to you. And it doesn't matter if this is positive or negative. It will look for it. So we do know that the senses, your eyes, your ears, your mouth, touching sense, they can only take in a little bit of what's out there. We do know that. That's science. So that system, the RAS system, is like a scanner. It's looking for the things that's important to you. So take the bumpers again, and something is happening in your life, in your experience that you don't like. That's fact. It's the contrast, it's negativity, and you focus on it. Most people, they keep focusing on this. Guess what happens with the RAS system? It looks for more of these things. So whether you think about this as law of attraction or not, your inner world begins to focus on these things. And when that happens, your RAS is looking for more of these things in the outside world. And guess what you'll get more of? And I know, because that's what happened to me. I've also seen the more feeling, the more emotion that I have with the thing, positive or negative, the more it happens. When I had my 20 apartment portfolio, I had some nights where I was so afraid that bad things would happen to me, and bad things happened to me, right? I did take actions that was not aligned with where I was actually going. And when the contrast hit, I was not calm. I was not focused on here. I was focused on the contrast. And the more I focused on it, the more desperate I became inside, and I ended up in a $1.5 million debt. So if you focus on problems, guess what happens? More problems, right? If you focus on lack, guess what happens? More lack. Not because the world changes, but because your attention does. And this is, like I say, take a magnet. The magnet works at the magnet. You can feel that. You can take a magnet and a magnet, two batteries, and you can feel the magnetism, right? And so you can probably see, if you begin, you can test this for 2 days. I wouldn't recommend it, but test for 2 days, talk about very negative things, begin talking about them, begin ruminating about them, begin feeling how bad it feels, and see what shows up in your life. So we can also do the opposite, and that's the thing that I want to invite you to here. So if we connect this to money, if you experience lack, money can trigger something in the body. I've experienced this: stress, tension, fear. And again, your system will begin to look for this. That's one part of this. Also, your actions will be more, or you can say less powerful. They will be more stressful, and you will be more like fighting or a bit desperate or frustrated, or maybe not doing anything at all. So this is just the system that all of us has. So what can you do here? Here comes the invitation. You can use contrast differently. So I'm going to help you with some, or invite you to think about these shifts and play with them. So I'm going to come with a reframe metaphor for you. Before that, I just want to share that this is exactly why I've created a 7-day manifestation reset challenge. Because this is all about beginning to understand your thoughts, begin to feel your emotions, begin to see your patterns, and learn to guide your focus. Because when you understand, when you are aware what's going on inside, you can start changing your results on the outside. There's a link below this video if you want to check it out. So let's take this, let's shift this. Think about this bumper. Think about contrast. Now, something you don't want shows up in your life. Could be money. Could be that you're working on a business but it's not working. Could be it's not growing. Or could be that you have a business, a bigger business, and you can't find the team members and you get stressed around that. You will begin to focus around that. But here comes the invitation. Use this experience like the bumper. Don't stay there. Don't fight it. Don't get caught up in that hamster wheel. But use it as a guide to get away from there, because you don't want to be there, right? So how can we do this? First of all, already by being opening to this, you will experience, and this is a play, this is not something for most people that you should only do once. It's a muscle that you will train. And if you stop doing this, you'll get back. That's how our mind is working. So instead of, I don't want this, you go into the bumper, contrast something, problem, and you get hooked there. But now, and you say, this is not what I want. I don't want this. It happened again or something like that. And one more thing, that when people experience this, they get very emotioned about this. So why is this always happening to me? And guess what? The system, your system, the person's system will be like, whoa, this is important. We've got to find more of these things. Not what we want, right? So here's the invitation. Instead of being caught up here, you can use this as a contrast and ask yourself, maybe as the first step, you see this, ask yourself, okay, I don't want this. What do I actually want? See, already here, the mind begins to play in another direction. And then you can use this to gently guide your thoughts to what you want. And what you probably will experience, I've tested this again and again and again. I also tested this when I did seminars with people. Okay, I don't want this. Be aware. Okay, I used to get caught up here. Now I use this as cool. I experienced something I don't want. This is a possibility for me to use, to be the captain, to be the leader of my system, and ask myself, what do I want? So let's say you had a sales call and the potential client or customer said no or didn't want it. And you could ruminate on this for days. But now instead, say, okay, that's not what I want. What do I want? Okay, I would actually like that someone said yes. Already now, you can begin, you can play more with it. So you can say, what would happen if someone said yes? Well, I could help that person. And what more would happen? Well, I would get paid. And what more would happen? Well, I've done something good in the world. And if you play with this, you'll begin to feel in a much better space than when you stayed over here. So again, just be open to this, because most people say, but I don't believe this works out. Well, you can stay there, but that doesn't work, right? So play with this. It's an invitation. Play with this. Gently guide your thoughts to, okay, I don't want this. What do I want? And guide them to there. Play with your imagination. Play with the things that you would like in your life. And when you do that, begin to play with, okay, when I play with these thoughts, and I imagine these things, how does that feel? How would it actually feel for me if I had abundance, if I had all the money that I could use? If I just could buy the things that I want, how would that feel? And feel how it feels and play with these things. And maybe it's still a little stressed or something, but then ask different questions, but in the positive way, to figure out, what do you want? So you got the bumper as a guideline. Makes sense? This is so powerful. And one more thing to this, it went a little longer than I had in mind, but one more thing to this. This is something that helped my mindset when I grew my business, because from 0 to 60 people in a professional cleaning business in a very competitive arena is a bit of extraordinary. Not many people do this. And there were lots of bumpers, many things that didn't go as I planned to or wanted to. At that time, what I did in my mind, I was saying, but I'm not recommending this, it's just a mindset shift. If you feel like this is a little too gentle for you, what I said to myself was, okay, it's just a test. It's just a test. The universe is testing me, because that brought up the energy of fighting inside of me. So I was like, no, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to test this even more. Not test, I'm going to fight this even more. I'm going to succeed. That's the way of doing it. But it worked for me with that energy. So that's, again, it's just playing with your thoughts. Instead of giving up, I could use that to turn up my heat, to turn up my power, and to turn up my winning mechanism. So it's actually two different things here. That one just came in from the side. So I would really be interested in learning how is this true for you. And also I'd invite you to begin play with this for the next couple of days. And no, you're probably not going to manifest 1 million within the next couple of days. Who knows? But it's not that that's going to happen. It's more about how will you feel if you guide your thoughts and then your emotions from the contrast into something that feels much better for you. How would that feel? And then think about how are your actions then. So I'm very curious about that. And if you are in our community, I would invite you to put your reflections, your personal reflections in the comments, because every time, if you're on YouTube, you can do it there. Every time we do that, it's not only out in the outside world with your thoughts and you put them with your fingers on your computer and they are there, black on white or white on black, however it looks, but it's out of you, and that helps you shifting already. So I'm curious, what is showing up in your life right now that might actually, listen good and carefully to this, that might actually be guiding you like the bumper? Drop that in the comments.